guys, and welcome to FaithWorks Designs. I am Faith, and today we're going to be talking about two subjects that I have not covered in any of my videos yet, and I cannot believe that I haven't covered these yet. What happened was a couple people had asked, specifically in my tester group, about what is expected from a tester group. It kind of just got me thinking, and I was like, you know, I really should do a video on tester groups, and then also I've had questions about strike groups. So we're going to be talking about how to get into tester groups, how to get into striker groups, what's expected, what you can get from gaining all of this. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. The topics are so short, I didn't feel like they could be their own videos, so I'm just going to kind of clump them together. Editing phase will put a timestamp to the strike group. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the tester group first. So let's get started. So being in a test group, how do you get started? Well, the very first thing is you're going to have to look out for posts from people when they're saying, hey, they want testers for their testing group. You want to make sure when you're applying for those that you take really, really good pictures. Don't just scroll through your phone and find the first one. Look for the pictures that you've, let's see, Photo Room. If you've seen that at all, this is not sponsored, but they have really cool ways of taking out and making AI stuff and things with your pictures and making them look really nice. Do you like my terminology, stuff and things? Anyway, make sure that when you're applying, you have really, really good pictures, and that way, hopefully, you'll be picked. Once you're picked, every tester group is different. So for my group, I might have a set of things that I want for my testers one way, and then somebody else might want something a different way. Everybody does it differently, and now that I've seen both sides, like I've had a test group for my patterns, I've also been in Mika Posh's group and then a couple other testing groups, so I kind of know what to expect from both angles versus doing it and being in a group. So we'll talk about all of that. Very first thing is they're going to want to make sure that you know how to go through the pattern, read through it, make sure that it's understandable. If you cannot understand it, then you've got to say something to the pattern designer and be like, I read this like 3 times and I don't understand it. Can you try and make it a little bit clearer? Please, 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 if you're in a tester group and something isn't clear to you, let them know. Because it might make sense to me, but it might not make sense to somebody else. And you want your patterns to go out so that everybody can understand them. So when you're going through the pattern, you find something that doesn't make sense, say something. So you're going to need to go through and do some spelling checks, make sure the pictures are clear, that kind of thing. That is just one encompassing thing of going through the pattern itself and making sure that everything is right. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually make the pattern. Don't try really hard. It's really hard to not make the pattern at the same time that you're reading it. Some of my testers really like doing that, but there might be some edits later on down the road. So what I like to do and what I've asked my testers to do is just kind of read through it. Let's see that everything makes sense before we move on to actually like making the thing. So try to make the thing after you've looked at the directions and you've kind of given them a good go over, and that way you can kind of give feedback if something didn't make sense, etc. When you go to make the thing, you need to make some kind of list and say, okay, this didn't fit, or this didn't look right, or maybe the stitching was too close, or, you know, just kind of make a list of the things that that might need to be changed in the pattern. You're also going to need to be taking good pictures of your finished product. That is super duper important to a pattern designer, because if we don't have good pictures to put on the website, we're not going to be selling very many patterns. So please make sure that your pictures are really, really good. Like I said, Photo Room is excellent for that. You can just kind of put your picture in there, and editing phase, put some pictures of the befores and afters of Photo Room. That way you guys can kind of see what the difference is and how much better they look versus like just putting it on your sewing desk and taking a picture of it and be like, I'm done. If you want to be a part of the testing group again, you're really going to need to show yourself as being a good part of the team that is helping out to be able to advertise this pattern. So you're also going to need good pictures because you're going to be advertising as well. So promoting, that's going to be the next thing. Once everybody's done, all of the edits have been done, you're going to have a promoting day. So most people, myself included, will make a week long. Normally posting is a week long. You don't normally do more than a week because that's a lot. to ask for people doing this for free. So you would do a week-long promotion. Always try and have if you're making patterns right now and you're thinking about doing testing, always have your patterns on sale the very first week that it comes out. You're more likely to make sales in that week than you are any other time. So make sure that it's on sale, it's more appealing, and you'll make more sales. So promotion. The pattern designer is going to have a week-long schedule. I do it all the time. I put all of my, Mondays, 1, 2, 3 is going to advertise today. Tuesday, 1, 2, 3 is going to advertise today, and there'll be a list. So you'll have a promotion day to promote. So a good designer is going to message everybody the day of their day or tag them in the group in a post so that they remember that it's their day. They have kids, they have jobs, they have things to do. So just take a second, tag them in the morning and be like, hey, it's your day to post. You know, again, this is kind of for those of you in a pattern group or want to be in a pattern group, and those of you that might be designing patterns. Just FYI, make sure that you kind of give them a heads up that it's their day, because stuff happens. So, tip for testers. It's super helpful to pattern designers when you can get your pattern to as much of an audience as physically possible, because you're really limited right now on where you can post, because some pages have gotten real picky, probably because they've been kind of bombarded with posts, and I don't blame them, I understand, but it's getting more and more limited to where you can post. So in my group, I post a list of where everybody can post, and that way they can kind of go through and look and see where they can post. But if you want to have a few more places to be able to post, I've told my testers, if you're making something with a fabric from, say, a fabric company, I can go on K&A's page and I could say, look at this thing that I made with K&A's fabric, and they'll be like, what bag pattern is that? And then that'll give you an opportunity to share the page. So if you're going on other people's fabric pages, don't add a link to the pattern. Just be like, look how cool this is, and then wait for somebody to ask for the pattern. It's rude to go on there and be like, here's your fabric, but I'm advertising this pattern. So just FYI. But if you use other people's fabrics or hardware, you can go on their pages and advertise for that designer by simply just posting a picture, and they can see the bag, and if they want to get information, they can get information, and if they don't, they don't. You know, there's not a lot you can do about it, but that's the less rude way to do it. Is just kind of like, look at this pretty purse. So anyway, I'm not going to beat a dead horse with that. Another way you can help a designer is if you see someone, say, from your group, it's their day to promote, a really super helpful thing to do would be to go underneath of their picture and say, wow, that's amazing, or wow, that person's really pretty, or you did a great job putting that together. That really helps the designer, because with Facebook's stupid algorithm, you have to kind of bump posts so that people will see it. I wish they had just left things alone. Things were fine before Facebook's like, you know what, we have to earn our keep, so we're going to do something stupid. Anyway, I have my beefs. All these poor small businesses that had to change the way they were doing it and do the @ button. Do you know how many ats I used to get when that first happened? It was annoying. Help Facebook out by going underneath there and commenting so that it'll be bumped. So another way to make sure that you kind of stay in a testing group, or to kind of set yourself apart, is to interact with the group during the testing period. So you're really going to want to post pictures in progress, or comment on other people, or, you know, really give your feedback on the pattern or the finished bag, or, you know, just being interactive in a testing group. That's how I've kind of set apart a couple of people in my group, is that I know I'm going to count on them because they are going to go through that pattern with a fine-tooth comb. They are going to make it. They are going to, like, that sets them apart. And I know there's a handful of people that I can count on that will get it done no matter what. They'll get it done for me, and I know that I can count on them. So when I have a secret project in the works, I can message them and be like, hey, I got a secret project. It's not going to be due till March. You know, can you make this and make sure that everything fits? Yes, I can always count on them. If you're not a part of K&A's boxes, that's all I'm saying. Now, we're going to be talking about strike groups and how to get into a strike group, what's expected of you in a strike group, etc. The first thing is how to get invited to a strike group. So most strike groups are going to have a call out and say, hey, we're looking for strikers. Is there anybody that's interested? And again, same thing. You're going to need to make sure that your pictures are really, really good. Because if you have crappy pictures, they're not going to want to invite you to the group. Because if you have crappy pictures and it's not showing off the fabric very well, you know, you're not going to make very many sales. And fabric companies spend a lot of money sending out strike material, which we'll talk about in a minute. They spend a lot of money shipping that stuff out, and so they want to make sure that they have the best pictures possible so that they can make the most money off of their strike group, because it takes them income to get strikes so that people in all these different groups can see it. And so if they spend all this money and nobody posts or nobody does good pictures, they're not going to make any money. So we want to keep our fabric companies in business, so make sure that you take really, really good pictures. And that way you'll get picked as well. Also, along that lines, if they're doing a strike search and you use fabric from them, that's kind of an extra bonus, and that's just something I'm throwing out there. How I got up with Kim and Alex from K&A is I actually bought some of their, I'm going to try and find the picture, but I made a Goosebump duffel bag one time, and I had posted it on their Facebook page, and Kim, they had just got started. I think it was back just when Kim was running the business, and they needed pictures for the website, and she messaged me and she's like, hey, this is really cool, do you mind if I put it on the website? And I'm like, of course not. And then we kind of developed a relationship by me constantly posting on their page my finished items, which is my next thing. You really need to interact with that page, and don't limit yourself. So several things going on before I forget. Don't limit yourself to just one fabric group, okay? That was my huge mistake. I love K&A, but I wished I had continued posting on all of these different Facebook groups, because of what I do for a living is on YouTube. And so if I had gotten more strikes, or if I had gotten in with different businesses, I would have had the relationships that I needed to be able to kind of build this business. And because I just focused and narrowed in on one business, I wasn't able to broaden out as much as I would have liked to. So, lesson learned. Either way, if you're a part of more than one strike group, it's a good thing, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. So interact with their pages, go to more than one group. The more you interact and the more you kind of show off their fabric, the more likely they might be to be able to pick you as a strike group. If they've seen you on the page constantly posting your makes and stuff, they're more likely, because they know you love their fabric, and they're more likely to pick you. And I'm not saying this to like manipulate people, but like if you're constantly posting on their page, they're gonna, chances are good, not 100%. Don't take my word on it. If you're posting on, say, 5 groups and you're constantly posting on all their groups, when they have a strike search, you're more likely to get on one or the other. Let's talk about what's expected, and that way I can tell you why being on more than one strike group is a really good thing. So, what's expected? Strikes. Strikes are fabric that you will get from the fabric company to advertise their stuff. So if you're a bag maker, you'll get like a certain amount of fabric that you can get. Everybody's different, you guys. So K&A have a certain limit for bag makers, a certain limit for clothing makers, etc. And you'll get to pick, they'll have pictures of the round that's coming up, and then you can pick what you would like to work with. K&A is really good about this. They want you to feel inspired by what you're getting, and so they'll say, hey, go through the pictures, see which ones you like. They want most of the testers to pick different fabrics so that everybody doesn't have the same fabric, you know what I mean? But for the most part, we tend to pick a lot of different things. So you're going to get fabric to be able to do your thing. You really need to have in mind what you're going to make with it when you go to pick your strike pick. Because if you get like a ton of fabric and then you don't know what, it comes in and you don't know what you're going to do, you're going to be like, you know, have in mind, okay, I'm going to make pattern from said thing. I need to have like so much of this fabric so that it'll work. I need a vinyl, or I need cotton because I'm going to be making this thing. So have an idea of what you're going to make before you start picking fabrics. Generally for us, we normally get to see the fabric like a day ahead of time, so we can kind of see what's there and then go through our patterns and say, hey, I'm going to make X, Y, and Z with it. And that way you kind of know ahead of time. So getting your strikes done in a timely manner, that's going to be a really, really important thing. For us recently, I don't know if it's the mail, I don't know if it's where the fabric comes from, but I know Kim is a far a ways away from me, and so I've been getting my fabric and I've been having to make it and a video in a week, and that has been rough. But everybody's going to be different, because depending upon where you are versus where the fabric company is, how long you're going to have to make this. And generally they'll tell you, hey, your fabric's on its way, it's due by X, Y, and Z. You need to make sure that you clear a day so that you can get your strikes done in a timely manner, because if you're constantly late or you don't get your stuff done in time, you're not going to stay in a strike group for very long. They need people that can get it done and get it done quickly and get the pictures ready to go, because they are on a set timeline just like, you know, you are. So try really hard to get stuff done in a timely manner, and that way you look like you know what you're doing. And it's hard. The last couple of months has really been hard, because I have had a week to record sew along videos, to get them edited, ready to go. And I have a business of my own that I'm running, so if you're going to say yes to a strike group, you really got to make sure that you have that time to be able to do it. Especially if you're going to be doing more than one, you need to set yourself a calendar up and just make sure that you're setting your date. Okay, K&A is due on this day, and this other fabric company is due on this day. This needs to come first. Like, you know what I mean? So just kind of figure out your schedule, and that way you won't be late, and that way you'll be able to stay on a strike group. Okay, so again, you're going to need to take really good pictures of your stuff, because after you get your strikes in, after you make the thing, you're going to have to take pictures so that you can promote with. Promotion's going to be another thing that we need to talk about, because in some groups, they're kind of willy-nilly about it, and they're like, well, just when you get it finished, just post, you know, no big deal. I hate groups like that. I'm just being honest. I am a busy person, and I have my own business, and I have my own stuff to sew and my own things to do. I need a schedule. I'm that kind of person that I need a schedule, or I'm not going to post. Rebecca from K&A has been so good about, she's a team leader, and she's been so good about, like, Faith, it's your day to post. Like, get her done. And so I need a schedule. K&A is the best I've seen from being in a couple of strike groups. She's the best that I've seen that they come out with a schedule, and they say blue team, you know, posts on this day, and red team posts on this day, and etc. And so that way I know what day I have to post. No matter what, I know what day I have to post. So for me, it was really helpful to know I got to get it done by this day, and I got to post on this day. And for K&A, we post like twice a week, 1 week for pre-orders, and then we post twice a week for retail on another week. And so it kind of rotates like that every week. Every fabric company is going to be different, so you just really need to know what you're getting into before you get into it, and be like, how much do you require of this? Because it may not be worth, it depends, it may not be worth all of your time. So you really need to find out how much that fabric company is going to expect from you. So why is it important to do more than one fabric company? So when you get your strike material, you're going to be able to make a purse with it, or whatever you're going to be doing with it. And so you can turn around and you can sell that bag later on. Just because it's a strike pick doesn't mean that you can't sell your stuff, okay? Don't think that that's the case. You can sell your stuff. I personally wait until the round is over and make sure that I've got all of my pictures that I'm going to need, because something will happen and I won't have the bag again. Somebody's like, well, what does it measure, and what does it look like on the inside, or, you know, all these random questions people ask. And so if I don't have the bag, I can't tell them, you know what I mean? So I wait until the round is over, and then I'll go ahead and sell the bag. If you're doing that for more than one strike group, you can make money doing this. It's just a matter of making sure you have the time to do it, making sure that, you know, you time your selling of your items. Now, you're not going to be making a killing, okay? But if, you know, you get fabric for one strike group and you sell the bag for $65, you've made $65 for spending, you know, a couple of days making a bag. You know what I mean? So if they sell. It's been a rough couple of years, y'all. Anyway, I hope I answered all of your questions about testing groups and strike groups. If I didn't, leave them down in the comment section down below, and I can add to this and make an extra video of all the questions maybe that I didn't answer. Hopefully I did, because I've had kind of the experience of both sides, especially in testing, being a designer myself and then also being a tester in a group. And so I've got a lot of knowledge. It's just a matter of I may have forgotten something. So if I did, leave it in the comment section down below. I do check those daily. Also, if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up and help a girl out. Or if you want to subscribe and see some of the cool things that are coming. Again, if you're not a part of the K&A boxes that they've been releasing every single month, you really need to make sure that you are, because there's a cool thing coming that everybody has been asking for a really, really long time. Really long time. Anyway, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss it, and make sure that you go get a box. Thanks for joining us again on Faith Works Designs. Bye, guys.